Welcome back. Next, we have an update from Ideal Power, which trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol IPWR and is pioneering the development and commercialization of its broadly patented bidirectional semiconductor power switch, creating highly efficient and eco-friendly energy control solutions for electric vehicle charging, renewable energy, energy storage, UPS data center, solid-state circuit breaker, and other industrial and military applications. Please welcome its CFO, Tim Burns. Nice to see you, Tim.
Thank you, Anna. Our technology, the B-TRAN, is a power semiconductor device that really has three compelling advantages over conventional technologies such as IGBTs. The first is it's inherently bidirectional, which is particularly important in applications involving batteries. Second, it's very low loss, which results in electric vehicles an increased range and a solar installation, more usable kilowatt hours. And then also, because of the lower losses, there's less heat generated. So OEM products can be smaller and lower cost if they incorporate the B-TRAN technology. There's really three macro trends that are poised to help the growth of Ideal Power and the adoption of its B-TRAN technology. The first is electric vehicles. The challenges with electric vehicles today are range anxiety and cost. B-TRAN helps in both of those areas, improving the range and also reducing the cost when compared to things like silicon carbide MOSFETs that are used in some electric vehicles today. The second is the adoption of renewable energy, particularly when paired with energy storage, where it takes advantage of the bidirectionality. And the third is the electrification that we're poised to see here with the grid infrastructure. With B-TRAN enabling things like solid-state circuit breakers, it can really provide advantages to that grid infrastructure as more DC sources come online. And there's things like vehicle-to-home, vehicle-to-grid, et cetera, that really require bidirectionality. Our model is an asset-light business model. So we are a small core technical team, a small business development team. We're really leveraging the existing silicon infrastructure that's already out there. So much money has already been invested in. So we outsource those activities so we can really focus on further developing the technology and bringing it to market. With our current headcount, which is 11 people, we're a small team, but even if we're wildly successful, we'll still be tens of people. So there's really a lot of leverage to our business model. Since our last update, some key events have happened for us. One, we introduced our second commercial product, our SymCool IQ, which is a multi-die intelligent power module. It takes our original SymCool, our first product, and adds an intelligent driver to it, and is really targeting applications such as renewable energy, particularly renewable energy paired with energy storage. Can be used in solid-state circuit breakers as well, but also other industrial applications, UPS systems, et cetera. We've also announced an addition to our test and evaluation program with another global power conversion provider that's now part of that program. And we've really been happy with the results of our test and evaluation program to date. We have many customers now that are really excited to see that the performance of our technology is better than we stated in our data sheet. We actually increased the rating of our SymCool power module, our first product, from 100 amps to 160 amps. There's also lower losses than we had originally predicted and shared with customers. So really positive feedback from that program. And we're actually starting to provide volume quotes to some of those participants in the program. With that, quick update. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great. Thank you, Tim. Okay. Blair Dunlap asks, do you anticipate commercial revenue in Q3 or Q4 of 23? And if so, how much?
So revenue will be really modest. We're actually in fabrication of our SymCool power module right now. So in the coming months, we expect initial sales. It'll be pretty modest because those customers have to get through their design cycle. So we really expect revenue from our first product, the SymCool, to ramp in the second half of 2024.
And Brett Stern asks, how many companies has B-TRAN devices been shipped to already?
So we haven't provided an exact number, but we provided B-TRAN devices with a test kit to all of the large companies in our test and evaluation program. It's double digits. I'd have to look to see the exact number. But the key thing is there's several very large companies in the program that could drive significant volume for us, and it covers multiple target markets. So it's renewable energy, it's solid-state circuit breakers, it's a top 10 automaker, so electric vehicles, EV charging as well. So it's really covering all of our target markets.
And Nick asks, how many B-TRAN devices have been produced to date?
So we haven't disclosed here, again, a specific number. We had one high volume run at our high volume production fab that we qualified back mid-year. So that provided enough devices for us to send hundreds of devices to Diversified Technologies under our Navy program. It also allowed us to ship devices to all of the large companies in our test and evaluation program. We actually have at least 8 wafer runs going now, so we don't think volume will be a problem. And the current fab that we have should be able to handle all our volume needs over the next couple of years. And we also have a second fab that we just started a qualifying run with that will basically more than double our potential capacity. So as we look out over the next 2 or 3 years, we're not concerned with production capacity.
And Jeff Stein asks, by having a bidirectional chip, is the cost savings by manufacturers significant?
It is, particularly in bidirectional applications, because you're replacing multiple devices with one. So in the case you're using IGBTs, you're actually using 2 IGBTs and blocking diodes to make a bidirectional circuit. We do it in a single device. So you can buy one device and you'd have to buy 2 IGBTs. So even if we're at a slight premium to IGBTs, if there's let's say a 20% cost premium to an IGBT, you're still saving significantly by only having to buy one device rather than buy the 2 IGBTs. And then compared to silicon carbide alternatives, it's an absolute minimum. Silicon carbide is 3 times the cost of what we expect B-TRAN to be at volume, and it could be as high as 5 times the cost.
Ash Clark says you had some military contracts. Any update on those?
Yeah, so we completed a program with the Navy as part of their ship electrification program. Our partner on that was Diversified Technologies, who has expertise in circuit breaker design. As part of that program, we ended up shipping hundreds of tested B-TRAN devices to DTI for that Navy program. And as we look forward, we're in discussions with the Navy, both us and DTI, for another potential program. So for us, it was a great opportunity to, 1, get some funding, 2, really provide a great validation. We had multiple companies enter our test and evaluation program as a result of hearing about the Navy program. But for us, the real opportunity for solid-state circuit breakers, we think, is in the utility industrial markets.
And Wilson wants you to discuss your actual manufacturing. Is that done in-house, and is it in the USA?
So we do not have a fab, nor do we intend to own a fab. So part of our business model is to outsource and really leverage the existing silicon infrastructure. Our current fab is in Asia, but not in China or Taiwan. And we are qualifying a second high-volume fab right now in Europe.
Mark Hester asks, what are you doing to get the word out to more manufacturers? And can you handle any order amounts that come in?
So I'm sure there would have to be some ramp if the order was large enough, but we have a business development team that's working directly with and contacting large companies, many of which are now in our program. We're leveraging the network, both of our team and also of our board. For instance, Drew Freeman, who's a member of our board, led global auto sales for NXP. So he sold semiconductors into the space. So we definitely have door openers on the team, and we're really just leveraging our internal resources. And we may expand that to include distribution and increased number of reps as well. But for now, it's largely done internally.
And Sky Alvarez wants you to talk about innovation while still working on sales and production. Do you see room for improvement and a version 2, for example?
Yes, and it's actually already planned. But we actually were very, very pleased with the initial devices coming out of our high volume production fab. So it exceeded our expectations. So the losses were lower. The yield, particularly for first lot, was extremely high. And now we're focused on improving the device. We'll move up to larger wafers. We'll continue to work on yield. But from a performance perspective, I would say the device is ahead of schedule.
And speaking of cost, Karen H. asks, where do you see your costs for raw materials going? Are they getting higher?
So our raw materials are pretty commonly available. Silicon wafers, there's a ready supply of silicon wafers at the wafer size that we currently utilize. So that's not an issue. We haven't really seen much in terms of cost inflation. For us, it's really just generating volume to bring, the benefits of scale to bear as, we grow revenue over time.
And last question from John Bear. Are there any particular industries you're focused on, or would you be more likely to be an early adopter, or would be more likely to be an early adopter of your technology?
Yeah, so the first product we launched, the SymCool, is really targeting the solid-state circuit breaker market. That is a market where we're the enabling technology. So it's really the very low conduction losses of B-TRAN make solid-state circuit breakers practical. Following after that, the SymCool IQ that we just launched, again, renewable energy, EV charging, and industrial applications is where it would apply. And we're also in phase 2 of a multi-year development agreement with a top 10 global automaker for a custom B-TRAN module for their EV drivetrain platform. So that is targeted to be production ready in 2025.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Tim, so much for this update.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Everyone stay with us. We'll be right back.